VCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
Kenzie takes a touch. She'll have one shot to the right side, and it's good.
May takes the snap, hands it off to Helton. Similar play, similar result. This time a stiff arm gets Helton free. He's met at the goal line, but he's in.
With numbers, sends it into the circle. O'Donnell to Kylie, shot, score!
Well, somebody's got to do it. So now the ball through. Benjamin with it. Left foot, right foot is good.
They have cleaned that up over the years a lot. Oh, nice block.
Snap, looks to pass. May rolls to his right, delivers to the end zone. Back in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Good evening and welcome to Bedford High School Stadium for tonight's Division I girls soccer game between the Bedford Bulldogs and the visiting Portsmouth Clippers. My name's Lauren Fox, and alongside Jay Abendroth, I will bring you all the action live from high above the turf here at Bedford High School. And Jay, this one is shaping up to be a good one. You and I had one a few weeks ago, a boys game that was a little bit of a blowout early on, but this one looks like it's going to be a barn burner. Bedford comes into the game 10-1-2, Portsmouth 10-2-2, and this is a game that's going to have some playoff implications on the girls' side of the bracket for the playoffs here in Division I.
Yeah, absolutely. On paper, it looks like two evenly matched teams with really strong records. We've seen Bedford coming off of a win at, I believe, Spalding, but they've had a little bit of a scoring drought, if you will. The first 7-8 games of the season have been a scoring blitz, and last 3 or 4 have been held down to 1. So the weather's here. It feels like fall for sure. I see you have the endless summer thing going still with the sandals on.
I'm still wearing flip-flops. Our viewers at home cannot see that, but
that is true.
Yes, it's as long as there's no snow on the ground and it's not raining, I'm comfortable. But for what you're talking about, and from having watched these two teams, obviously you did the Winnicott game, the 0-0. I sat outside the press box and bit my nails for 80 minutes, but that one was a barn burner. Bedford then came out against Pinkerton, tied 1-1, a late goal by McKenna Snow, even that one, and then wound up in a week that they only had one game. They had a Saturday game against Nashua North, fell 2-1. Each of the Fry twins scored a goal on that one of them with 18, leading the way in division, or I guess second in Division I. So you have a tough game against Nashua North, and then they kind of played like they were feeling a little bit of the stress against the winless Spalding team, came out and only won 1-0, and that was on a late penalty kick by Anna Diaz. So it's a Bedford team that needs to get on the board, needs to get things right, and the girls had a meeting yesterday before the game. They're aware of the situation, and it's not a lack of trying, and it's not a lack of hustle. This is primarily we're thinking too much, and we got to find a way to react instead of thinking and let the game come to us. So having sort of lived it for the last couple of weeks, it's for Bedford, they'll come out with a full head of steam today. Now, the problem for the Bulldogs is, or I guess two problems. On the left side, Libby Fox has started all 13 games for the Bulldogs. She's down. She'll play for a bit today, but a dinged up ankle. And Annie Zink on the right side is not starting today. She most likely will be out for a little bit with a dinged up ankle as well. So we are underway now here at the Bedford High School field. We'll walk you through the Bulldogs starting lineup. Up front for the Dogs, you have Lila Yater on the right side, Cece Irwin in the middle, and over on the left side, the senior Leah Burke. And on the back line, of course, you have Addie Kiley, Meredith Reich, McKenna Snow, and Nora Ripple, who have kind of been the stalwarts back there. But McKenna has been seeing some time at striker and is very useful there. And we may have said it in the open that McKenna is the one that tied it against Pinkerton late after Coach Winning floated her up from the back line up front.
Yeah, and it's as we start to see some good both teams trying to get some possession here. I think what happens in the middle of the season is teams, especially against teams like Bedford, both boys and girls, they realize they can pack it in and play heavy defense. Maybe not worry about scoring, but that can stop and kind of create a little bit of stress on the Bedford high-powered offense. Let's see if they can string together some passes early and maybe, as you said, settle into this game a little bit with some chances.
Ball sent down to the end line. Leah Burke did a nice job holding it in. You almost would like to see her send it off the defender and out of bounds. But Bedford still maintaining possession, and that hasn't been the problem for the Bulldogs. They dominated the Spalding game. They just couldn't find the back of the net, and that's almost trying to be a little bit too fine. In fact, in that Nashua North game, they found 4 posts, which it was the epitome of frustration for the players as well as for the parents in that one. Now Adra Casey tries to send it back up front, can't get it there, and Portsmouth will control for a little. Lila Yater, though, does a great job to harass the Portsmouth backliner, and the ball sent out of bounds. A Bedford throw is coming, so a nice job for Yater to get in the way of Piper Hindle, the junior back for the Clippers.
Yeah, and the best way to ease into a game, as we talked about, if you in the past have been a little bit pressured because things aren't going, best thing to do is add the pressure to your opponent. Really start to press them into making mistakes, as we saw there. Good pressure on the ball, got the ball out of bounds deep in the Portsmouth side. Let's see what Bedford can do with this cross.
Casey to Yater to the middle, and that one will be sent out by Portsmouth, but it'll hop over the head of Carolyn Milks, and now the Clippers are on the charge with a sprint coming, and the ball sent back to Danny Winning, and I believe that was Rose Merrill, the freshman forward. A look at these Clippers, and Carolyn Milks is the big name that's been in the scoring column all year. She's got 16 goals, at least according to our friends at New Hampshire Sports Page, and 5 assists to go along with it. But when you look at that scoring sheet for the Clippers, the next 2 in line are freshmen. Liliana Carroll, 8 goals, 3 assists. Rose Merrill, 6 goals, 2 assists. So Carroll a mid and Merrill a forward. And outside of the fact that they rhyme, they're pretty good soccer players too.
Yeah, that's right. They have had against very similarly matched teams when you look at the scoring as well. Portsmouth has also, in some of their wins, had upwards of 6 goals. And I think this is going to be one where getting on the board first is going to set the tone and see kind of who's bringing the heat a little bit to the other team.
Great job by Nora Ripple to hold the ball, and Portsmouth's going to have a throw from deep in their end. But you're absolutely correct. It's the momentum, and for the Bulldogs, it's almost you want to get on the board so there's not the here we go again. It's watching that second half against Spalding. The team, in some ways, kind of went into a little bit of panic mode, and everybody was trying to put it in from everywhere on the field. And the keeper, don't get me wrong, the Spalding keeper, Banks, played out of her mind. She played a phenomenal game. We kept joking that it was going to be her college recruiting tape, but the Bulldogs also certainly didn't make things terribly hard on her. It was a barrage, but a lot sent to her or over her.
Yeah, and as we see here, both teams doing a really nice job trying to keep some possession, I should say. A few missteps here and there, but we're seeing the game largely played in the midfield, and as is always, that's going to be the start of, who team is going to pull ahead is going to be the one that handles the ball in the midfield, is able to progress it a little bit more than just long balls into the box. We see some tactical passes. I'd like to see who can get that going first.
Nice shot by Adra Casey to make a stop, and now the Bulldogs are on the run. Casey on the right side. She's got Cece Irwin to the left. Instead takes it toward the end line, gets elbowed out, sends it off the foot of the Portsmouth defender, who then tries to send it back over her head, and Adra creating a little bit of space, and she will just let the ball go out of bounds. Bedford throw coming from deep in the Portsmouth end. Lila Yater with a chance with the left foot, sends it to the middle, and the thing that you might like to see the Bulldogs do a little bit earlier on something like that is take the shot, pull the trigger, and see if you might be able to get a rebound off of the keeper, Anna Vitale.
Yeah, absolutely. You always get those funny bounces sometimes. Hopefully they go your way, but they only happen when you're putting pressure on the goalie, making them make mistakes. It's kind of like tennis, right? They talk about forced and unforced errors. I mean, the easiest way to get some momentum is an unforced error by pressing the issue, as we see Portsmouth here running down on a break.
Carolyn Milks speeding around, trying to get around Addie Kiley. She can't. The Bulldogs will send it out of bounds. Meredith Reich will do the job, and a Portsmouth throw is coming. And for those who've been watching the girls all season, we have a couple new faces. Juliet Laws is a sophomore with a lot of speed. She'll be here. That one sent toward the keeper, winning, who fields it on the hop, and the Bulldogs will go the other direction. So Juliet Laws, the sophomore, called up from JV. She does have a lot of speed and the ability to put the ball in the back of the net. And the other one that is here now is freshman Elena Beck, who has been a big scoring threat on the JV side. And as you know, the JV and varsity games are certainly different, but it may be a burst of energy. And we've seen it with girls at the younger levels, where Cece Irwin, as a freshman, came in and scored a couple goals late in the season her freshman year just by being in the right place at the right time. So you never know who's going to contribute and help a team down the stretch. So Coach Winning hoping that will be the case.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff is always good for the program as well. As these young bucks coming up and able to play with the varsity, they'll realize the speed is a lot faster, but it's always good to get out there and get your sea legs under you, because you're right. If you're right place, right time, you don't care who scores. It's just that you score.
Sometimes if you take direction, we kept hearing it late in the game the other day, where as Bedford takes a throw. Late in the game the other day, it was Coach Winning yelling, "It's late in the game. Why is nobody on the far post?" And if you have players that will follow that direction, be in the right place at the right time, it can certainly pay dividends.
Yeah, that's right. Someone says, "Oh, that's me. I should be on that."
That's
post.
me. I should have been there. Yep. So it's like, yeah, it's the baseball equivalent of who's backing up on that one.
Right.
Can I find a hole to fall into in the ground, please? Portsmouth on the charge down the right side. Merrill showing a lot of speed. She is very effective electric player. And a sub in for the Bulldogs. I believe that's going to be Elena Beck coming in at about 8 minutes into the game. And Cece Irwin has been doing her fair share of running. So Coach Winning realizing that might be a good time to spell her, so she'll have energy late in the game to do the same.
Yeah, we see Portsmouth with a number of subs as well pretty early. I think it was 5 ladies coming on. And I'm not sure if they were trying to get a certain group, maybe seniors or something like that, some playing time. But really interesting. That's deep use of the bench very early on. We'll see if Portsmouth continues that.
Well, as you may have noticed, I counted it pregame. 26 players on the roster. So Portsmouth either has a very deep roster or doesn't cut anybody, but it is in stark contrast to what you'll typically see here at Bedford with the depth of the roster. You'll see it on the boys' side. They'll have a long roster of very deserving, very good players who, in a lot of cases, would be starting or starring at other high schools and have difficulty finding the field here. But in the case of the girls, the roster is usually a bit skinnier.
Yeah, and it does well, too, because, again, against a really skilled team like Bedford, sometimes just throwing waves of fresh legs and with hustle and energy, that's a good way to disrupt this passing game of Bedford that they usually rely on to move the ball down the field.
Nice job by Lila Yater to pick one up from Anna Diaz, but tried to connect and could not, and that ball will move down the right sideline, held in there by McKenna Snow, and the Bulldogs will come back the other way.
Yeah, really nice there by McKenna Snow. She had the presence of mind to just wait, relax. I think she thought at first she had some pressure, but was able to step over, get the ball going instead of booting it out of bounds. Nice play.
Again, that's a senior player with 4 years of varsity experience that has been there and knows what to expect. Now Nora Ripple comes in, speaking of seniors, and does a nice job of badgering Alexa Berry-James, and the Bulldogs will have a throw here. She'll send it in to Adra Casey, the sophomore, and Adra to Sloan Correa in the middle of the field. Plays back to McKenna, and now right back the other way come the Bulldogs. Diaz looking to the corner, trying to find Leah Burke down there, just a step ahead of her, and consequently a clipper throw is coming. And the Bulldogs do a nice job of D'ing up there, but Clippers are coming right back the other way, and now Bulldog intercepts the pass, and there we go. So you were right on when you're talking about this game's being played in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's such an important thing, especially two high-powered offenses and defenses, right? I mean, you start to see where each of the team is bunching up. I think we see about the 50-yard line, Bedford has the ball, but they have 4 defenders around 1 offender for Portsmouth, and it's about the same in the other way. And so you're really not just going to walk right down Main Street. You really need to matriculate the ball through the midfield with some crisscross passing, in essence, getting around the defenders, and then break someone free.
Good use of the word matriculation.
Thank you. I have the calendar,
Yep,
the daily, so.
Would have sworn I saw a couple handballs in there, but regardless, the officials did not agree. Our officials tonight.
Looks like they caught it there.
Very seasoned. Chris Morgan and Andy Paul. If you play in the Bedford Men's Basketball League, you've probably been whistled for a foul or several dozen by Andy, who gives you commentary on your lack of skill playing basketball while calling a game himself. That one chipped into the box, and the keeper Vitaly will field it on 2 hops and send it out. Andy wants a star in his own right at basketball at Trinity High School.
Oh, there you go. Local boy done good.
He is certainly a character. He'll sing to you. He'll make fun of you. Like, yeah.
All what you need when you're playing basketball.
Yeah, when you're in the old guy league, yeah, you need that. Ball sent through. Portsmouth tries to send it out, but Bedford will find a way to hold it in, and now Portsmouth from the back line is on the move. Looked like that one may have gone off the glove of Katina Pesaridis, but Bulldogs are now the victim of the Portsmouth offensive charge, and right back the other way. Great play, Grace Santerre to snake the ball, and Lila Yater winds up with it and can't control. Now Anna Diaz using her head and can't get it to a Bulldog, although usually she's pretty spot on when it comes to directing the ball with her melon. We are still scoreless. We're 12 minutes and 30 seconds in, give or take, and the Bulldogs will change things up a bit as Elena Beck now will head to the right side. Lila Yater heads off, and see if we can get an update. I thought it was Grace Santerre who came in up front on the far side for the Bulldogs.
I didn't even come down.
Yeah, we'll see too. It's always interesting, a little bit of a chess match when you have 2 evenly matched teams. What the formation is, as we said, with 1 forward there, you see Bedford who can control the ball, they can pass through the midfield. Everything's great until you try to really press it against the goalie, and you only have 1 against 2, 3, 4. So do you change the formation to maybe put a little bit more attacking and give up some of that overmatch in the midfield? We'll see.
Portsmouth doing an excellent job there with a couple touches to create a little bit of action before McKenna Snow cleared it. And they keep sending through balls, trying to find the speed on the wings. The left side is Josephine Hostra, the freshman forward, and the right side is, as we mentioned, Rose Merrill. Difficult to make out the numbers from all the way up here. You may see a little bit better than what we're seeing from your couch at home. And nice play there made by Nora Ripple, and Nora will get the ball, send a throw up, and right back the other way come the Bulldogs. It's Beck sending it to the middle off the foot of the Portsmouth defender. On the charge now, Lila Yater with it. She's got a shot at it. And what did we have, a foul called or offside?
Yeah, I think we had a foul. That was a little bit, that was an abrupt whistle as Bedford still had possession and was making a move. I mean, it's a good opportunity for them, but yeah, I would have, if I'm the coach, I might have said, hey, let them play a little bit longer. What do you think?
Advantage there, maybe. Couldn't hurt, but we have a wall forming in front of McKenna Snow, but that is a rather close wall. I don't know that I would stand. It's like the police said, don't stand so close to McKenna. And I like my teeth, so they'll move back a couple yards. We'll see what the Bulldogs do here. A golden opportunity for them, 14:48 in, as she sends it right to the wall, does McKenna. Now she'll dribble, try to send it right side, can't, and quickly a whistle, and I'm not sure what that one was, but this may be the kind of game that we're seeing so far tonight. We'll see if we can get possibly a replay. Nice touch by the TV crew making Bedford not red tonight, but we're pink. It's breast cancer awareness night. So
all class.
I appreciate the attention to the finer things paid by Andrew Fenn back at the BCTV studios.
And this is another free kick as we see her take it. It's kind of in that middle of, do you pass it in and go for the goal, or do you try to get the assist and get someone streaking? Both times trying to go for the goal, which is probably the right thing. You know, usually you try the cross when you have an angle, but McKenna unfortunately sailed that one over, but at least we're starting to get some balls on goal. And, you know, I think that's what we talked about, getting some more of that pressure as Portsmouth does another wholesale change out of
line
players.
change. This is like hockey here. And we get a look at the one that McKenna sent right over. It was played well by the keeper, Vitali, but McKenna just trying to find that little gap between Vitali's hand and the crossbar, and the Bulldogs will hold it in there. Anna Diaz had it ricochet off her, and now Portsmouth will try to clear, but the Bulldogs still on the offensive attack, and a little bit of miscommunication. Now Portsmouth will move the other direction, and trying to hold it in there is Reagan Lawton. Will send it up, and now McKenna Snow will clear it for the Bulldogs. That one's going to go off of Lila Yader's foot. Adra Casey has a shot at it and finds Anna streaking up the middle, and now Anna will control it, very poised as always. And now Addie Kiley sends it into the box where Vitali will have it. Portsmouth has had, at least according to NH Sports page, half a dozen players score goals for them this year. The Bulldogs have had no fewer than 13. So the goal distribution for Bedford has been excellent, but in the last several games, there just haven't been enough of them. Yeah, that's right. It really has been something. And again, these women, these coaches know what they're doing, and I think there's a little bit of a playbook. Is, you know, pack it in again, just like the guys on the Bedford side. You know, pack it in, and it's a little bit of a way to stop the high-powered offenses. Yader and Beck playing a little bit of give and go, and handled by the keeper Vitali, but Bedford is certainly controlling. Vitali is getting far more action down at her end than Danny Winning is. Yeah, and love to see, as we talked about, getting a ball on cage, really having an opportunity as we see one go a little bit wide. But, you know, I think Bedford, some of the frustration comes when you have possession, you keep pushing, but you're not getting through and getting the ball on goal. I'd love to see a couple of long-range shots here just to get the ball moving in our direction. That would be the figurative ball moving in our direction. Yes, yes, yes. And a substitution made. I believe that was Grace Santerre off. I'm not certain who came on in Grace's place, but was that number 14? Was that Jessica Black, or had she been on prior? It could be Jess Black. Yeah. Jess would be in the middle. That one sent into the box. Vitali scrambling to her left and handles it on a couple hops. We're about halfway home here at half number one, and we'd like to take a moment. Maybe. I was going to say, and thank our underwriters. The ball will go out of bounds, so it appears that, no. Elena Beck, Johnny on the spot, doing a nice job holding it in, gets it back to Norral Ripple. Now the ball is out of bounds. So thank our underwriters who make these games on BCTV possible. Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones and Copper Door, Primary Bank, Interim Healthcare, Wix Insurance, and Nelson Real Estate. So thank you to those 5 organizations for their support of BCTV and of Bulldog Athletics. Jess Black always knows where everybody else is on the field. Sent it perfectly to Sloan Correa, who missed Anna Diaz by an eyelash. And the Bulldogs will head back the other direction. And I think we saw Elena Beck go off, and then number 8, Claudia Irwin, come on in substitution for Bedford. So changes on the field, some unfamiliar faces. Jess Black tried to chip it up the side there, trying to make out who is at left wing right now. Yeah, and I think, you know, halfway through the first half here, we talked about teams settling in. If you're Bedford, I think you got to be pretty happy. They've gotten some good chances. They've gotten some free kicks. Of course, they'd be happy with some goals on the board, but I think they're starting to control this game a little bit. Again, how can they press up a little bit more and break some of this stout Portsmouth defense? It is a far different Bedford team than we saw the other night against Spalding. That team was playing a frantic, harried style of soccer. And when I'm sitting next to Mr. Soccer, Sean Diaz, watching that game, I learned a lot about soccer that day, I'll say, but I also may have learned some new words.
Yes.
As we translate from soccer to English, nice throw made by Nora Ripple. We had a whistle that I'm guessing was a foul on Lila Yater. And it will be a Clipper kick coming from about the football 15 toward midfield. Off the midsection of the Portsmouth offensive player. Now Cece Irwin calmly gets it to the middle. Jess Black with it, has it stripped. And now Sloan Correa, or Anna Diaz, I should say, comes up with it. Sloan now at midfield, takes her time, gets it to Jess Black. Jess is like your typical pass first point guard. Tried to thread the needle, had somebody there, couldn't quite get it there, but you talk about a player who knows where everybody else is all the time. That's Jess Black. That one sent toward the keeper, and Danny Winning will come out with a charging Carolyn Milks right in her face. And Danny makes the right play coming off her line there.
Yeah, nice job by Portsmouth. As we talked about, as Bedford starts to push a little bit forward and get some momentum, it's that counterattack that can really get you. So nice job on defense. Goalie came off her line easily, picked up the ball. But, you know, I like the aggressiveness for Bedford. We'll give up something like that, especially if it's an easy pickup by the goalie.
And of course, when you also think about if you're playing on that front line, you only have so many good runs that you can get that are focused chances. And when you can get a player to spoil one of those and come away with nothing, that's a win in and of itself when that happens early in the game.
Absolutely.
McKenna Snow drills one. It's going to roll past midfield, where sent back the other direction by Piper Hindle. Brother Gar, a very good baseball player back when for the Clippers, not that long ago. I believe he's now freshman in college. I'm not sure where he wound up signing, but a very good ball player. And that one sent out of bounds. A Clipper throw is coming.
Yeah, nice job converging on the ball there by Bedford, even though it was down in their corner. 3 Bedford Bulldogs around 2 of the Portsmouth Clippers. Really nice defense to get it away.
Great throw by the Clippers, and it's headed, but now Anna Diaz will have a shot at it. Tried to send it up top to Lila Yater, couldn't. And Bulldogs now just trying to clear here and sent out of bounds, and the Clipper throw will come from the far side from Laura Milks. Both Milks, seniors, twins, I'm guessing. Strange if not.
Yeah, very coincidental if not.
Yes. Yes.
We'll play the stats on this one.
I'm just going to guess. It would be really weird if not. Perhaps one was adopted. Cece Irwin, nice job to steal it. Lila Yater sends it back to her down into the corner and sent out of bounds by Hindle. And a Bedford throw is coming. Nora Ripple is on that one.
Yeah, and as we saw there, to juxtapose, we saw in the past where the defense, I think it was McKenna Snow, being able to, instead of kicking the ball out of bounds under a little bit of pressure, she stopped and kept possession. Here we saw some pressure by Claudia Irwin on number 21, Piper Hindler. Piper thought the pressure was pretty heavy and kicked it out of bounds. It's the difference between having possession down at the 20-yard football line or losing it and the ball going the other way. So nice job by Bedford applying that pressure.
Great play by Sloan Correa to hold that one in, and the Bulldogs don't get anything out of it necessarily. Elise Olsen had a shot at it and sent it off the foot of a Portsmouth defender. Elise is one that has seen some significant time on the back line for the Bulldogs, but she did not start tonight's game on the back line, I think with the idea that she might be able to float up front. She's a tall presence up there and has a strong foot. Might be somebody late in a game that could find the back of the net. She's done it so far for the Bulldogs this season.
Yeah, we see good possession continuing by Bedford, moving the ball up and taking off chunks of yardage pretty quickly, keeping the ball in the Portsmouth half. Got to break through, though. And when you're a skilled team like this, it does get a bit frustrating when you know you have momentum, you know you have the ball, and you can pass it around. You just, kind of start to say, why is the ball not going in? But it's clear that they have to put more pressure on the goalie here and finish some of these runs.
Absolutely. Portsmouth has no fewer than, you can see it on the shot right now, 7 players waiting to come into the game. That's not a line change. That's a complete strategy change at that point.
That is.
You'll have 3 who stay, the other 7 come in, and the keeper's not going anywhere.
You never know, I guess. That's with this prolific substitution game.
7 little chipmunks sitting on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch.
That's right.
You know that old children's tale from the sea? If you don't know the movie, just Google it. It's fine. You'll be fine. Keep up. You're thinking about Gorgonzola when it's clearly brie time, baby.
Clearly brie time, baby. That's right.
I use that line once a week. Easy. Cue it up, baby. So the Bulldogs are still scoreless. We're about 26 minutes in. No more something about Mary to talk about.
That's
here.
right.
Yep. I just gave that one away. That one sent in, and a nice job done by Addie Kiley going up for that ball, but also impeding Carolyn Milks.
Yeah.
She went up in such a way, it was almost like watching a cornerback go up for a pass and do it without interfering with the receiver, but managing to completely disrupt that play.
Yeah, nice defense. And we're seeing it time and time again from Bedford. They are stepping in the passing lanes, as we see again here, trying to get something going for Portsmouth. And Bedford always has a defender right in the perfect spot to step in and get the ball moving the other way.
Love the play made by Nora Ripple to keep that alive. CeCe Irwin sent it into the middle, and the possession did not end well for the Bulldogs. And now Addie Kiley thinking about it, and falling down to the ground is Reagan Lawton, the junior forward, and Bulldogs will come back the other way. And the magnificent 7 are still waiting over there for the Clippers. Anna Diaz fighting for the ball. The Bulldogs are deep. 7 waiting to get into the game is deep to another level.
Yeah, I think, and honestly, you're making some jokes, but you're right. It is a little bit of a strategy change, too, because not all these 7 play the same way as the 7 on the field. So curious to see if there's a little bit of change in strategy as Portsmouth attacks with this next line change.
CeCe Irwin sends it up. Lila Yater does a great job sticking with it. And Lila makes a play off the defender for the Clippers. And a Bedford throw is coming quickly. They'll take their time. We're about 28 minutes in. The goal drought for the Bulldogs against Spalding was unnerving, to say the least. This one, I don't think anybody expected that goals were going to come easy against the Clippers, although Exeter did have their way with them. They beat them 4-0, but Exeter is, by all accounts, a team that is among the cream of the crop here in Division I.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, these teams are skilled. It's different times in the season. You really do, if you recall, right? It's season seems long, but it really isn't that long. But you grow up during the season, and I think we're seeing 2 pretty mature teams here. Kind of knew who they are, who they aren't. Bedford, again, has gone into a little bit of slump from defense. Love to see them start to press the issue a little bit, get the ball going, which they're starting to do with their pressure.
CeCe Irwin chips it off the defender, fighting Elise Olsen, knocks it away. And now the Bulldogs will maybe have a bite at the apple. CeCe with it, left foot, sent into the box. Great pass, CeCe. Sloan Correa maybe have a shot at it, Sloan. Everybody wants her to get one. She's the only one who's not on board with this project. Now it'll go out of bounds and a Portsmouth throw coming, but we look up top, we can see Carolyn Milks is still up there, but I'm not sure who remains from that Portsmouth lineup that was just in, and how long their coach Mickey Smith is going to go with this rotation versus others that we've seen. But it certainly, your sub patterns can be really difficult when you have that many mouths to feed.
Yeah, it's a little bit colder of a night too. It's hard to get up to speed. I think we saw a little bit of it there with Bedford really pushing, and they had multiple shots as Portsmouth failed to get it out of their box cleanly, and perhaps Bedford can take advantage of some of these new folks who may not be warmed up in a little bit of the chaos.
And the Bulldogs on the charge again. That one sent to the box. Vitale comes off her line, fields it at about the 6. And the Bulldogs are knocking at the door. It's just a matter of, do you get to hear the sound of the ball on the nylon in the back of the net?
Yeah, and as we see too, I like Bedford. What they're doing is, we saw it with the boys a lot as well. They try to kind of, sometimes when they're a little bit stalled, they try to jam the ball straight down the middle, and it's just a very hard pass on a run from a forward to get the ball coming from behind you and score. There we saw the ball coming in from the angle, from the sideline, and that is so much easier for a forward to track, get their foot on, because it's all in front of them versus a ball coming quite literally behind them as they're full speed, try to get it under into their possession. So love to see the women here try to attack from different angles. I think that's going to open up more than just going straight down the middle.
And you also, when you're making that play, you're catching it at full speed,
right,
and momentum is carrying you toward the net as opposed to trying to triangulate where it is.
Absolutely.
Held in there by the Bulldogs. Ripple near side. Cece Irwin tried to have a chance. Cece couldn't keep it in, and now Clippers will come back the other way. I'm not sure that throw actually went in bounds. It hit the line.
I think that is true.
So Alexa Berry-James takes the throw, and now the Bulldogs will attempt to clear. Addie Kiley sends it back near side. Ripple, now ball chipped up inside the 18, and McKenna Snow will send it high into the night sky and out of bounds. Everybody is wearing sleeves. Well, almost everybody. McKenna Snow is opting for the tough guy look. I'd expect nothing less. Kind of on brand. Elise Olsen also not wearing sleeves, so it is like one of those days when you have a guy out there on the pitching mound throwing, and it's 40 degrees out and it's in April and he's in short sleeves. So
I just shake my head. This is not a, that would not be me. I had no shame. my day. Still don't have any shame.
I mean, I'm still wearing sandals.
Yeah.
So, do it that way you will. That one gets into the box. Milks had a shot at it, and now the Bulldogs are going to have to clear. They get it up toward midfield. Nice job there. And now the Bulldogs will go back the other direction. Cece Irwin tried to find Lila. Lila gets dragged down. No call made. And now Portsmouth will rotate it around their back line. Elise Olsen going up to give a little bit of trouble to the Portsmouth defender, and now gets around her as she falls to the ground. That was sort of odd play. We've seen that a couple times from the defenders on that side, but
and I think here come the other three that were missing previously from the 7 substitution. We see 3 more coming in from Portsmouth to complete the 10 for 10 swap.
Line changes. About 7:15 remaining here in half number 1. We are still scoreless. The Bulldogs have, I'll say, had possession 60-40, maybe 65-35. So they've had their chances. They just haven't got it in yet. Sloan Correa, great pass there, and Lila Yater couldn't control. And now McKenna Snow with a full head of steam. I wouldn't want to get in her way either. Now Sloan Correa breaking it up, stopping the Portsmouth charge. Clippers on the run again. Nora on the back line, controls, great job, holds it in bounds. And now we'll just send it back one level, I think, where she'll find Leah Burke. Leah looking toward the middle, nice attempt, but intercepted there by Ailish Honda and sent in where McKenna Snow has it dribble off her foot. And now Addie Kiley back the other way, but not before it's intercepted by Berry-James, who's playing up front now. So not only are they switching players, the players are switching roles.
Yeah, we need AI in here to keep track of the comings and goings. Yes,
some kind of tracking.
But Bedford here, we see Portsmouth with a little bit of a late run, 6 minutes left in this half. But Bedford just throwing wave after wave at this attack and really doing a nice job, really harmlessly pushing away a lot of these advances by Portsmouth.
Great job by Addie Kiley to maintain possession for the Bulldogs, and now Lila Yater with a shot at it. Near side, just a step ahead of Leah Burke, the senior.
Yeah, there's a saying, they say shoot your passes, meaning don't let them, dribble and get intercepted. That was definitely a shot of a pass out, unfortunately. A little bit too much steam, went out of bounds.
Again, that was like somebody passing to me if I'm playing ice hockey on a pond thinking I can skate faster than I can. That's right. Just not going to happen. No shot. That one out of bounds. The Clipper throw is coming from here on the near side. Scoreless, we are at about the 5-minute mark where they will now start hand timing on the field. And I have to believe that it's going to be pretty spot on, so we'll keep that up here. The clock is still running down on the field. Actually, it's 2 minutes. I lied. So,
yep.
Sometimes I feel like I've never watched soccer before.
Goes around in this booth sometimes, I think. It's,
what's this game?
How many halves are there?
There are 4 halves in the soccer game, obviously.
Right. I will say though too, again, joking aside, these refs have done a really nice job. They have it in control, but they haven't needed to use the whistle other than a couple fouls there early on in the half. As we see some replay here, this is one of the opportunities where Bedford really starting to press a little bit harder and getting possession. Another one where a little bit of frenzy, which sometimes if you're trying to score goals does not hurt. And Bedford, we see these passes going in probably, it's the right idea, right time, right person, just a little bit long, a little bit off. And so if they can clean that up, I think they're going to have some great opportunities here in the end of the first and into the second half.
So, with about 4 minutes left, I agree with you. They have been playing well, and this is night and day, not the same team that we saw Tuesday night. Yeah. So, and I know that they did not have a practice like you or I might have had back in the day after a performance that was a struggle. They came out, did some team building, worked on a little bit of soccer. All was good, and then it was moving on to the next one. You can't perseverate on the previous one. You got to work on the next one.
Perseverate, nice.
That was in my calendar
I like
today,
that.
apparently.
Checkbox, word of the day used.
Yep. Copious verisimilitude. That one sent up and over, and Rose Merrill will have a shot at it, but McKenna Snow will disabuse her of the ball. There's another good one. And sent out of bounds there, and a throw will be coming for these Portsmouth Clippers. Trying to get on the board, about 3 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, and sometimes too, we talk about,
the one set in the box, and it's still a dangerous ball. McKenna Snow will clear it, do a large part of the work. Lila Yater trying to tie her shoes, and now the ball will be sent up to Lila. Lila on the left side has got Libby Fox, who's still on. Now the ball sent in. Sloan Correa had a bite at the apple, couldn't come up with it, and now back the other way come these Portsmouth Clippers.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, sometimes in these games, you just need someone somewhere to take it on their shoulders and say, you know what, not now. We're going to change this, and we're going to go. So much of the emotion and passion can come out and really create opportunities for you. I'd love to see Bedford have a few of those as they try to stop Portsmouth on a run here.
Carolyn Milks had a good shot at it, but Addie Kiley headed her off at the pass, literally. And now Rose Merrill fights with the Bulldogs for the ball. Portsmouth kind of empty in the tank here at the end of the first half. Ball sent near side and chipped in, and Danny Winning will field it on a hop. And there we go. We are in the under 2 minutes. We're at about 1:40. So Danny will try to send it out. Doesn't do everything to clear it. Sloan Correa looks near side, finds Libby now. Nora Ripple chips it up and over, and that one's going to go off the head of the defender. Lila Yater falls for it, gets pushed down, and the Bulldogs are going to get a golden opportunity here with about 1:20 left. So we'll see what they can come up with. McKenna Snow obviously is going to send one up and over, although she's got Addie Kyler to her left. Snow with it, and off the shoulder of Lila Yater, and that's almost like one of those that you don't want to hit anybody. You want the bounce, force the keeper to come off her line.
That's right, get the keeper in no man's land, no woman's land in this case. But yeah, I think Bedford appropriately understood, pushed everybody forward. Unfortunately, the pass didn't connect, but they start to understand that this is go time here at the end of the half.
Bedford has not been connecting on the offensive passes. They're connecting on passes in the midfield, but when they got somebody moving, that's where things have been a little bit of a struggle, and they haven't been able to execute on there. Now bodies hitting the floor all over the place. The Clippers down, and a throw is coming. Thought it was going to be a Bedford throw. Libby Fox thought the same as well, and instead it will be Piper Hindle to take it as we're in the waning seconds of half number one, about 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and you're a baseball guy. Usually analytics is taken over, and usually sometimes in soccer, almost always, when you talk about time of possession and connected passes, you have positive results. And sometimes, though, if you can't turn those into really good scoring opportunities, you kind of land in the place where Bedford is right now with tons of opportunities, but not seeing the result.
And that will do it for half number one. My timer was right about on. So the Bulldogs, after 40 minutes, are tied 0-0 against Portsmouth. A well-played first half for both sides. But with that said, Jay, we are scoreless through 40. So we'll take a break. We'll come back in about 10 minutes. And you have been watching Bedford Bulldogs girls soccer live on BCTV.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or CopperDoor.com.
All right, good evening and welcome back to women's soccer here at Bedford High School. Bedford High School Bulldogs against the Portsmouth Clippers. We see a 0-0 tie at halftime due to no lack of trying by both teams. We've seen some speed on the Portsmouth side, but Bedford able to throw waves of defenders against those attacks and really get some counterattacks going. Excited to see what halftime has brought for both coaches. We've seen Portsmouth surely with some fresh legs as they have had multiple substitutions and able to run into the second half. And from a Bedford side, really talking about, I presume, coach there talking about how are they going to break through this defense and get some of these runs to connect, not only, and then get the ball on goal. Lauren, what do you think about the going into the second half here?
The hardest part for them has been the through balls to this point. They've done a great job controlling the ball in the middle of the field, but when it comes to getting somebody on the run, they've struggled to this point. So we will see what the Bulldogs can do here in half number two.
Yeah, and on a chilly night here as Portsmouth takes possession, see who can kind of shake off the cobwebs of the first half and start fast. I think that's going to really tell the tale of the second half. Who can start fast and get the ball into the back of the net as Bedford retains possession, starts to try to break through this Portsmouth defense.
And you have the feeling it's going to be a breakdown of some sort that ultimately results in the first goal of the game. Whether it's a foul, whether it's somebody kind of weaving their way through, or just a defensive blown assignment. But in this case, the Bulldogs hoping it's not on them. Great play made on the back end to stop it by the Dogs, and right the other way they come. Anna Diaz leading the charge. She's got Leah Burke on her left, Lila Yater up the middle, and tried to find Lila, but it was a little bit behind her.
Yeah, and that's that crispness we were talking about. Good pass, all the right intentions, really nice pass, but it just didn't quite hit the intended target. But Bedford with another shot here as they try to break through.
Short passes have been money tonight. It's the long balls. The timing's just a little bit off.
Yeah, absolutely. Over halftime, I'm chewing on some skills here. I had the opportunity. A lot of the boys varsity team is
that's dinner.
That is. A lot of the boys varsity team is up in the snack shack helping out on this night for breast cancer awareness, and we talked and they agreed. They are taking possession just like the guys do, but it's that through ball that isn't quite connecting. Love to see them connect on some of those and get opportunities.
Bulldogs sent one to the middle, and then a second foot sent it into the box. But those are the kind of opportunities. That's what I was alluding to earlier. You want it where a funny angle, a funny hop. It's almost, you liken a game like this to a hockey game where it generally seems like a goal is scored by somebody who's in the right place, right time.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of these goals have the same hallmarks. Goalie off their line, maybe a little bit in no man's land, funny bouncing ball, and you just are able to, right person, right time, getting their foot in the, or some other body part on the ball and getting it going. Again, yeah, we've seen it time and time again, and Bedford hoping they are the beneficiary of the same type of play.
Doesn't matter. Now, Portsmouth coming back the other way. Milks being guarded closely, dribbles around, gets it back toward the middle to Honda, and now Portsmouth trying to take a shot, chips it, and knocked away by the Bulldogs, but Meredith Reich's got to keep up that intensity, and sure enough, it goes off of the foot of Lily Remsen, I thought, maybe, and it'll be a Bedford goal kick coming.
Yeah, and by far the best opportunity for Portsmouth there is they had 4 or 5 women up in close to the box, but again, Bedford defense holding strong, and it's that bend but don't break mentality, able to get the ball out on the end line on Portsmouth, and goal kick going the other way.
And I was wrong. It was Rose Merrill who sent it out of bounds. Rose, of course, the freshman phenom for the Clippers, having a great first season for Portsmouth. And now the Bulldogs are just trying to get it out of there. Merrill somehow keeps it in bounds. And now the Bulldogs are just going to try to clear it. McKenna Snow chips it up and over, but not enough to clear it. And then a ball just kind of sent into the night sky by Laura Milks.
Yeah, Portsmouth definitely has some speed on the wings with young number 19, Rose Merrill, on the right-hand side. I think something Bedford's going to have to watch out for is she's the type of player with that speed who could break through. Have to be wary of her on that touchline.
And this half has been the opposite of what we saw in the first half, although in the first half we saw the ball down on this end a fair bit, but it was mostly the Bulldogs with it. Now Lila Yaters, she's got it. Anna Diaz on the charge. Lila will send it to Anna. Anna finds herself surrounded by about 4 Clippers. Now near side coming. Leah Burke takes a touch and gets knocked down, and no call. I think that was a clean play. The Bulldog faithful hoping that they were going to get a call there. They did not. And now the Clippers will come right back the other way. Merrill calling for the ball. Tries to thread it through. And McKenna Snow somehow gets in the way of Merrill, and coming out to field it on the ground, the worm burner, was Danny Winning. So great job by Kenna on the help side, taking care of Meredith Reich.
Yeah, good end-to-end action. I know Bedford fans, faithful, would love to have seen that be a call in the box, but I agree with you. It seemed like a pretty clean play. It was a tough play, but probably the right call for the referees at this juncture of the game.
Cece Irwin knocks it away. Yater winds up with it. Now Anna Diaz coming back the other way. Anna threads the needle to Lila. Lila trying to find the right side. She's got to look to the far side. Can't find anybody over there. Lila then tried to send it back over, but you really want her to just take the shot there.
Yeah.
Send it in.
They're being too polite, I think, a little bit with the passing. When you get down into that money zone inside the box or close to the box, you got to start getting the ball on goal.
You put it on goal like we were talking about. That's how you get the funny bounce. That's how you get an opportunity there. Leah Burke, nice job controlling it. Couldn't connect with Anna, and then does a great job atoning for her mistake, breaking up that pass between the Clippers. Great job there by Leah Burke, too. Almost back-checking. And Portsmouth hoping for a foul there against Yater, and they're going to get the call, mostly because the player hit the deck. I'm not sure that it was a trip per se, but although we may watch it on video and it may be egregious, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And right now in this formation, they're asking a lot. Bedford's doing a really nice job in midfield, as we talked about all day, controlling the midfield. But, Lila Yeater, the sophomore is up there, and it's really, she's on an island a bit to really hold the ball down and get the ball held and wait for reinforcement. She's doing a nice job, but I think she's going to need a little bit more help, as she's getting right now.
Great job, Meredith Reich, on that interception to Anna Diaz. Now to Adra Casey. Adra looking far side, and I think she's looking for Elena Beck, and Portsmouth will just send the ball out of bounds, so Bedford will get an opportunity on a throw.
Yeah, as you said, this is a very different start to the half as we saw before. We see a replay here. Oh, yep, I think Miss Eater did get the ball or the foot on the foot instead of the ball there, so probably the right call by the refs. But
that may have been.
Yeah, different start to the half as we saw previously. A lot of up and down, a lot of running, a lot of tracking, and some exciting soccer here going on.
Back to the middle. Juliet Laws had a shot at it, and it's going to be sent out of bounds, but it should. I don't know how it wasn't a corner kick.
Yeah.
Can we see that again, Andrew?
That's a bit of a head scratcher because that was by far the best opportunity.
Yeah, Juliet sent it in, and it looked for all the world like it was off the foot of a Portsmouth defender, and we'll get a chance at it. And sure enough, it went off the heel of the defender, number 14, Milks, and called a goal kick.
That's a tough break by Bedford. Hopefully, right, they can win possession here in the midfield as they have all day and keep the pressure up because they're starting to see some cracks as they put pressure on the Portsmouth defense.
Possibly a handball that we just saw there as well, but no, not called. And back the other way come the Clippers. It's Carolyn Milks who gets it back one line and now finds her players surrounded. Now the Bulldogs with a chance at things, trying to find a way to send it through and can't. And now the Bulldogs, it's the two youngsters, Beck and Laws, at the striker and left side spot. And now back the other way come the Clippers. If you're the Bulldogs, obviously you can't be thinking about that play. It is what it is. But man, when you saw that ball get kicked, you knew it wasn't Juliet with the miss there. You knew it had to be off of somebody. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, you never want the refs or anybody to have a part in the game, but those are the types of plays that could change the outcome, honestly, with these two type of teams who are evenly matched with so few opportunities. Portsmouth hanging on, trying to hold it in, but the ball's back across midfield again where Piper Hindle will attempt to get the offense restarted, or check that. Grace Ward will get things restarted. And now the Bulldogs, after a miscue by the Clippers, will get a throw at about the football 40. I don't know. Go ahead, please. I feel bad for all these people who are sitting in front of us and have to listen to me. Nah. Like, I thought I was going to have a nice night and watch the soccer game, and instead this guy was in my ear all night long. They should pay for this, Lauren. They should pay for this. Dios mío, no. But yeah, I mean, you wonder kind of behind the scenes, love to hear what was said to both the teams at halftime, because definitely a different type of game we're seeing here. Bedford playing with a little bit of urgency now as we're nearly 10 minutes into half number 2. For the Bulldogs, you'd love to find a way to come away with a win. Great header there by Sloan Correa to Adra Casey. The ball poked away from Adra. And now Portsmouth coming right back the other way with Pesaridis with the ball. Now the ball sent back near side. The Bulldogs definitely have some speed on that front line, and it's young. Sophomores, freshmen, and a foul there made against Lily Yater, and sure enough, we got a call there. So it is, you almost think maybe now we're going to have one of those times where McKenna might, instead of just sending it over, find Addie Kiley and let Addie play point guard, but there's a wall of one in front of her. Yeah, and we see some opportunity on the backside here with 3 Bedford Bulldogs man-to-man. Chipped up and over. Anna Diaz with it, and it's off the post again. Bulldogs can't get it in. The ball rattling around again. It's off the post. And finally, it finds the back of the net. I have no idea who sent it in, but frankly, it doesn't matter. The Bulldogs are on top 1-0. Yeah, fantastic goal, as you said. Anna Diaz doing the yeoman's work and getting the ball, being able to, it was a bouncing ball into the box. My God, she was able to win, and just off the post, kind of chipped the keeper. Ball bounced around, unlucky on the first one, but the persistence and what it takes, we talked about having people in the right position, pressing, getting a foot on the ball. Bedford finally breaking through. We'll see if we can figure out. We're going to watch the play. It was Anna first, and it hit the post again. That was a curse. Juliet Laws had to go right through her wickets, and then again and again, and finally the one I think that knocked it in was Juliet Laws for the Bulldogs from Elena Beck. I think it was. She actually
yeah, like you said, went through her wicket. She had the open net, so good for her to get a little bit of redemption very, very quickly. You don't often get redemption that quickly, but she put the biscuit in the basket, and great to see Bedford now with a little bit of swagger, like to keep the pressure up and add some more.
It would be nice to get a little bit of breathing room. That one kicked off the hand of the Portsmouth defender, Unique. And now the Bulldogs maintaining pressure. The goal scored at 29-27, so I was told there would be no math. That's about 50 minutes, in the 51st minute. Now the ball sent out of bounds. But of course, the whole thing was made possible by Anna Diaz. And I guess if you back up one step, McKenna Snow not sending a high ball trying to make it on net. McKenna was trying to get it over that first line and set up Anna, and sure enough, the two of them have been playing together long enough that kind of became academic at that point. But you got the feeling, or at least I did, having watched too much of these girls this year, that when Anna set it off the post, it was like, this is going to be a goal kick again. Yeah. And sure enough, somebody was there, Johnny on the spot, able to knock it in and give the Bulldogs a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and as we were talking about, many of these goals have the same hallmarks. They have the same characteristic, and this is no different. We saw a ball in behind the defense, a bouncing ball, a goalie off the line, and really strong, someone there, right place, right time to put their foot on it. That's how soccer goes.
And the keeper had to come off the line. That was absolutely the right play. The Bulldogs now will do their best to shut down Carolyn Milks and find out what kind of gum she's chewing. Great job back checking by Juliet. Sent down the sideline, and that one is off the chest of the Clipper defender, and it'll be a Bulldog throw coming, I thought. Nobody's moving, though.
I think they're catching their breath after this frenzied first portion of the second half.
It was certainly a harried time, to say the least. But if you look for the Bulldogs now, it is a very young team out there. You have Beck, who's a freshman, Laws is a sophomore, Yater a sophomore, Adra Casey a sophomore. So you look at a team that is very senior heavy, and all of a sudden you say, well, there may be some opportunities and some talent coming in to fill the cupboard yet again. And Portsmouth now kind of struggling a little bit, even though it appeared that they did a great job of subbing in and out during the first half. They're looking a little bit winded and out of control.
Absolutely, and as we talked about it with the youth at Bedford, it's really in the offensive side. And to be honest, in a game like this, given a 1-0, you want that as opposed to having the youth on the defense where they need to stand strong. So looking for Bedford's seniors to keep it calm, keep doing what they've been doing, and keep the ball out of harm's way for their side and push it up forward to let those young freshmen and sophomores, young legs run.
Now the ball trickles back near side. Laws with it. Tried to make a move, couldn't. And Portsmouth back the other way. And now the Clippers find their offensive attempt disrupted there by Nora Ripple. And looks like we'll have a new face emerge for the Bulldogs, maybe. As the Clippers take a throw, and now it's going to be 1st and 10. It is a weird situation for the Bulldogs because outside of the penalty kick late in the game against Spalding, they had the tie against Winnicott, 0-0. They had a game against Pinkerton where they went down 1-0 and scored late to tie it. They had the game against Nashua North where they went down 2-0 and scored one late to get it to 2-1. So they led late in the Spalding game, but they haven't really led in a meaningful game in what feels like forever, maybe since September.
Since September, yeah, and that's the beauty of this time of year. You're starting to get into playoffs, and this is really where you see the gumption, the mettle of a team, and to be able to hold, get a goal and overcome what you just said, a little bit of stagnation against a really good Portsmouth team. They got to be feeling confident, but again, eye on the prize, have got to close this one out with 24 minutes left.
Nice job by Danny Winning to field that one. Portsmouth just trying to send the ball on net and see if they might be able to take advantage of some sort of a miscue, but unable to do so. And now Portsmouth emerges with the ball, trying to stay positive. We have the Portsmouth fans directly in front of us, and you got to get in her face and not let her have that shot there. But instead, she sends it back to the back line. Danny Winning is going to have to come up, play that one on the hop. It's going to be dangerous. And it was Josephine Hofstra who came right in against Danny with a full head of steam, and Danny picked the ball out of the air. It is the contact with the keeper that's, I don't know how allowable that would have been if the ball had come out, but you never want to risk that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this is, again, too, where we'd like to see, you had mentioned before, the Portsmouth player in the midfield kind of had a little bit of free reign to make that pass, and Bedford has to clamp down in the midfield to make sure they don't have time to find those through balls.
Well, there's certain things, there are immutable rules of sport that you can't get away with. In soccer, you want to keep the ball out of the middle, but you also want to get in somebody's face. In baseball, you never want to leave the pitch up. And when you have somebody dribbling around like that, you feel like eventually something bad is going to happen, particularly when you have 3-4 players with her. If she has any field vision, somebody's going to wind up open.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we see again, the wholesale substitution, I think six Portsmouth players on to see what they can do and get this pace up. But you're right, it's immutable. We are throwing out some good thesaurus words here.
The PSAT is on Saturday.
That's right, but you're right. It's one of those things where Bedford now. It's two things. Number one, when you've gone through a lapse like they've had in the scoring, et cetera, you start to almost not trust the process, not trust the ball control, not trust the things you were doing because they just stopped working. But here it is. You got to trust that this goal came because you earned it, but you can't lose the fact that ball control, pinpoint passing, and taking the possession game away and dominating that is going to be the thing that not only gets you through this game with this score, but it probably adds some goals before the final zeros hit the clock.
And if you're the Bulldogs, you're coming out of this one, you need to find another one, get a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of insurance. But next week isn't terribly easy. You have a Salem team that's got a lot of firepower. Aaliyah Hajar is the #1 goal scorer in Division I. And you have Dover, which, oddly enough, Dover just tied Bishop Girton 0-0. So you have two teams that are coming in and clearly can play this game. And I don't want to not give Spalding any credit. Great job, Jess Black sending that ball up, and Elena Beck with a full head of steam. And that ball will be sent out of bounds off a Portsmouth defender, and we have a foul called against Beck. You say ticky-tack?
Yeah, I think so, Beck. I mean, there wasn't really anything there. That's sure the two bumped into each other, but inadvertent. Really impressed by the speed that Beck showed. Really nice burst. Love to see Bedford explore that a little bit more in the second half. As they say, right? More cowbell, explore the space.
Yes.
But yeah, honestly, that is an opening that I think Bedford can exploit a little bit more.
Now Portsmouth coming back the other way. Some speed coming up the left side. We have Reagan Lawton in the corner down there, chases the ball down, almost faked herself out a bit, and now it's going to be sent off the Bedford defender. The Portsmouth throw is coming.
Yeah, we're seeing I have not seen Portsmouth this year. It is relatively odd to have this many subs coming in and out because, again, it's hard to get into the flow of the game.
Yeah, that was exactly my thought, is you lose that piece.
But as we see, this set of subs is out here really putting some pressure on Bedford. And, again, number 17 there, Adria Casey, kicking it out of bounds. Probably had a little bit of time to turn. But let's see how Bedford does getting this ball cleared.
About halfway home in the second half of soccer, or the second quarter, as it were, as the ball is sent toward midfield. Now getting turned around a little bit, Lila Yater, and now McKenna Snow will try to chip it over and gets it through one line, so we'll take that. And now back the other way, the Bulldogs. Casey looking, and now the ball lost around midfield. Now Meredith Reich will send it across midfield, and ball sent out of bounds. The Bedford throw is coming. Just a quick reminder that Our underwriters play a vital role in bringing these games on air and supporting BCTV as well as Bedford Athletics. And we'd like to take a moment to thank Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones and Copper Door, Primary Bank, Interim Healthcare, Wicks Insurance, and Nelson Real Estate. So thank you to all those who support Bedford High School athletics, as well as BCTV's ability to bring you programming like this. Bulldogs still putting that full court press on. Jess Black doing a great job just badgering the Portsmouth mid.
Yeah, and as we see here, Bedford just harassing the Portsmouth defense, not letting them get anything out as far as a clear. Love to see the energy and the effort. And again, I think we talked about it before. This is the type of passion that can truly change a game and the tone of a season for a team. And Bedford really fighting hard. Love to see it.
These girls know that they can play, and if, you know, it doesn't matter what the sport is, they're all games of inches. And if you look at that North game, the Bulldogs could have easily won that game by several goals. When you have 4 that hit the post, that's a matter of half a foot that would get you in. So that makes a gigantic difference. And then you throw on top of it the game against Spalding, a lot of near misses. So this is a team that, if you look at it on paper, you say, man, they really weren't playing well. They weren't playing horribly. They just weren't getting the ball in the back of the net. And that's not a physical thing. That's generally more of a mental thing. And it's once you correct that, you can start scoring in bunches. That one's sent into the keeper, Vitali. But again, it's correcting above the neck instead of below it.
Yeah, absolutely, and you see it again time and time in sports. You don't want to become, when you go through a bad spot, you don't want to become your record. You don't want to, you want to be able to change that. And it's the things like hustle. It's the things like really just trusting your teammates, running hard, creating some havoc. Good things are going to come your way, and we see that from Bedford here.
Lila trying to find, I think it was Adra Casey up there, couldn't, and now the Bulldogs are on defense, but again, getting pulled down there at midfield was, I believe, Addie Kiley. So McKenna Snow will get another opportunity here with about 17 minutes left. 63 minutes have gone by. A different look for the Bulldogs. It looks like they're running I have to do math. 2-3-5. They got 2 in the back line and everybody else has moved up, but I don't think it's quite that egregious, but regardless, McKenna Snow sends it to the right side, chip toward the keeper. There's still an opportunity there for the Bulldogs. We'll see. They send it into the box. It's off of Beck. Might have gotten her in the hand just a little bit. And now that one will be sent back far side. Held in, though, by the Dogs. And so they're doing a good job of at least keeping it in, but now they're going to have to scurry to get back.
Yeah, they've done a nice job.
Coming back the other way, but they are down numbers. Sent near side to Carter, and Carter sends it off her foot and out of bounds. A Bedford goal kick is on the horizon.
Yeah, very nice job by Bedford, weathering a little bit of a storm. They got counterattacked. They, with that goal, we've seen the aggressiveness go up and the willingness to take a little bit more of a chance go up. But they have to watch out for that counter where Portsmouth gained a whole lot of field in a little bit of time. Unfortunate for them, kicked it out of bounds. But I'd like to see the back and forth, and Bedford's loosening up a little bit as well, which is great to see.
You saw that happen in the Winnicott game. Winnicott almost, in a scoreless game, almost wound up taking a lead late, and McKenna Snow appeared out of nowhere and saved the day for the Bulldogs. But we're seeing some of the same with the Clippers trying to have these late charges, and now Elena Beck finds her way into the box and sends it with her left foot to Vitali, but she was surrounded by Clippers and wound up giving the Bulldogs a chance and flipping the field back.
Yeah, as you see her here, she's got 3 defenders immediately near her. Great individual effort. Didn't quite get as much as she wanted on that left-footed shot, but great for her to not only gain possession, keep possession, but get free for a shot. Nice job for her, 1-on-3.
Correa, Black, Beck, chipped. Sloan will hold it in. And now Anna with it. Sends it back one line to Nora. And Nora evaluates her options, sends it up and over, but the Bulldogs still have a chance here as looked like Sloan Correa got an elbow right in the back and consequently draws the foul.
That's
and
right. Cause effect.
It works out just fine for the Bulldogs. McKenna Snow is going to have a good opportunity here from the football 35, and I truly don't know why they don't have anybody closer to her right here. And this would be a tempting one to just put it right on net.
Yeah, absolutely. Just they saw what happened previously. Get the ball on the ground, the goalie off her line.
Lila sends it far side of the box, and the keeper, Vitali, to her left. She's playing a good game today. She just got taken out of that one play, and the Bulldogs found the back of the net. Other than that, though, she's unblemished. And truly, that one wasn't necessarily her fault. They just didn't, her team didn't clear it out for her. Yeah,
absolutely. She just too many Bedford players there to let Portsmouth get it out of the way. But you're right. She's played in a really nice game, keeping Portsmouth actually this close in the game.
Now back the other way, the Bulldogs. Yater looking, Anna D. Now sent back one line. And Bulldogs taking their time, controlling things on offense. That ball sent to the box. Leah Burke trying to head her, and then had a second bite at the apple, sent it up and over. And the ball will go out of bounds, and it will be a goal kick coming for these Clippers.
Yeah, really nice to see the replay. Leah Burke heads it down, presumably to herself. Really great play. Unable to keep it low, aired it over the net, but great through ball there. I was surprised they made it all the way across into her space, but great opportunities. And again, as we talked about, coming from the sides, the different angles, I think that's where Bedford, with their passing game, is really going to open this up as they come not just straight down the middle, but using those end lines touch to widen the field.
Absolutely. Some changes for the Bulldogs. Cece Irwin in. And I think Beck is out. Laws has moved up top. And now threading the needle are the Clippers, but McKenna Snow will break that one up. Now that one's chipped over. And great job, Addie Kiley on the back line, heading, seemingly getting above everybody. Addie's not that tall, but found a way.
She got some Reebok pumps.
Yeah, something. She timed that absolutely perfectly. Now, of course, we're here in the press box with the basketball coach, Kevin Gibbs, and Juliet Laws was a contributor for his team last year as a freshman. And as Annie Zink did the same her freshman year through her senior year, Juliet looks like maybe now is the time for her to get a little bit more opportunity here on the soccer field, the pitch, as they call it. A penalty called. Portsmouth will try to send it up and over. Nothing doing. Great header coming by Anna Diaz, sent out of bounds, and Portsmouth throw is coming, but that penalty had no harm. We are in minute number 69 right now. This one saw the Bulldogs score in the 51st minute. Juliet Laws, I think, from Elena Beck. And that is the only scoring of the game. We had a scoreless first half, first quarter. And now Portsmouth with an opportunity, but dancing around through the box, and they're just trying to get the ball toward the keeper, and that one now sent in. Again, though, you look at where the breakdowns happen, it was that little bit of cushion that was given around the player in the corner, allowing her to send the ball in. And unfortunately for the Bulldogs, we'll see it one more time. You have a player down in the corner, gets the ball, and just sent it right in. She had the cushion, and sending the ball into the net was Rose Merrill, her 7th goal of the season, equalizing things with 10:39 left.
Yeah, and I think that was number 20, Katina Pesarides for Portsmouth, with some very, very strong ball possession, keeping that ball alive, and being able to be the facilitator there. And yeah, just had that feeling where Bedford just couldn't close down on the ball and get it moving out of their zone. And Portsmouth kept at it, and I guess that's why they're 10-2. 10 wins doesn't come without some persistence. So let's see how Bedford can respond here with 10 minutes left.
There was a brief moment on defense, to your point about a breakdown, where there's just that lack of urgency. And you could sort of feel it, where nobody was going to be the one to get the ball away from Pesarides. And by the time she got it over to the corner, all of a sudden it was a golden opportunity for the Clippers, and they crashed the net. And when you do that, good things generally happen. So the Bulldogs got to find a way to get one back in. They had momentum on their side, and they just kind of let things lapse ever so slightly. And now the Bulldogs will try to get some momentum back again as we're in the waning minutes of the game. About 10 minutes left. CeCe Irwin doing a great job back checking. The Bulldogs now with the ball. Anna with it, far side. To Nora. Nora looking, tried to thread the needle. Nope, nothing doing there. And now the Clippers, it was quiet down below. The parents were saying nothing. Now all of a sudden they're charged with energy. Merrill tried to get it on the through ball, couldn't. And now Snow will do a nice job, McKenna will, of getting it out. Now CeCe tries to chip it, and the Bulldogs just trying to do whatever they can to get it out. But Merrill is hell-bent on making something happen. She's playing with a level of intensity. Now Carolyn Milks, you got to get on her quickly. That one is sent in and headed away, but you can't let that ball be in the middle for too long. Just got to make sure you get rid of that thing. Anna Diaz skips a couple lines, finds Juliet Laws, now to CeCe Irwin, and it's just a step ahead of CeCe. And that's kind of what we've alluded to. Some of those through balls have been just a step ahead, just enough that the Bulldogs haven't been able to keep that offensive momentum and stay on the charge.
Yeah, I believe that one of the hardest things in all of sports is to respond after you've been scored on, right? You have the lead, team ties it up. You really have to dig down a little bit and make sure that you're doing everything you can to kind of square away your side. And you're right, games do have a feel to them, and that goal for Portsmouth just felt like Bedford wasn't quite clamping down like they should. But here we go. Let's see. Let's try to play. First thing is play the rest of this half in the Portsmouth half of the field, and then try to find a through ball or something like that, get the goalie off their line. I think Bedford has some momentum they can run on, but they've got to dig deep here a little bit and get off of this tie train.
So a change on offense for the Bulldogs. Not sure who is on. It looks like it is Beck coming. And not sure who came off for the Dogs, but the game is continuing to move. CeCe Irwin off. And now back the other way come the Clippers. Bedford doing their best to clear it. They can't get it all the way out. And with that, you all right there?
Yeah, good.
My co-host is fighting with a 20-ounce bottle of Coke, and that's
right.
Beating him.
Excuse me, I think I swallowed a bug.
Yep.
My apologies, everybody.
I swallowed a bug. Yep. So here we are, about 7 minutes remaining in the game. The Bulldogs trying to figure out what to do to answer back here. Adra Casey looking far side, trying to find Lila Yater, can't. And now the Clippers again charging. McKenna Snow breaks up the pass, but I think it went off her foot in a way that she wasn't quite expecting.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird bounce, but teammate was able to clear it out. Again, it gets a little bit frantic too. 6.5 minutes left, 1-1 game with two high-level teams. This is where kind of anything can happen here, and Bedford's got to buckle down.
And again, we have Portsmouth with a player getting away, creating a little bit of space, and when you have space and you're basically playing point guard, all of a sudden you can see the field in front of you.
Yeah.
You can send the ball toward the net and let your other offensive players clear it up. That's why something like that, you need to be in their face, cut the angles, limit the options.
Yeah, and we're seeing Portsmouth as well win a lot of these one-on-one battles and get clear of a defender. And so, like you said, then they have the luxury of time and space to go pick apart the Bedford defense. Nice individual efforts going on by Portsmouth.
Great ball by Anna Diaz on that bicycle kick, and now sent back the other way toward the Clippers, but the Bulldogs still on the charge. I think it was Lila Yater had her pocket pick there. And now back the other way come the Dogs, trying to somehow find the back of the net, but you also don't want to lose sight of the fact you don't want to lose this game either. You got to come out worst case scenario with a tie, best case scenario get the W. Juliet Laws near side, ball move, looking back. Adra Casey, great move, got a little bit of space now, and Adra looks to Sloan Correa. Sloan had it go off her. She just kind of takes her time a little bit. Nora back to Sloan. Sloan now back middle. Adra take a shot. That ball chipped in, tough ball, and we had maybe a little bit of playing the man, not the ball taking place, but I'm not even sure truly what happened. We're at roughly the 5-minute mark, I suppose.
But I heard you there imploring, I think it was Nora, to take a shot. I think, Bedford's closing in on the top of the box and not quite having the aggressiveness to take that shot. Love to see him kind of let it fly here with the last 5 minutes showing on the clock.
Doesn't hurt. Adra Casey tried to find Sloan Correa. That one sent toward Carolyn Milks, and Danny Winning had come off her line. McKenna Snow misjudged it ever so slightly and wound up turning on 5th gear to catch Milks and send it out of bounds, but that one could have been an absolute train wreck.
Absolutely, yeah. Good speed there by the senior McKenna Snow. She did, as you said. We see the ball here on the play. Nora unfortunately got it in, but not a lot of juice on there, and the goalie was able to come off their line. And here we see the counterattack on the replay as McKenna Snow unable to get her foot on it, but able to speedily and hastily get the ball out of bounds. Nice play individually there to stop the Portsmouth attack.
Well struck by McKenna toward midfield. Elena Beck had it, lost it, and now the Dogs will be on the offensive side of things. The clock is now at 5 minutes. We have, I'm going to say, about 3:40 remaining in the game. And the Bulldogs trying to find a way to get this one into the back of the net, but you got to play it slightly safe. And now Portsmouth chips it over, trying to find Carolyn Milks. Now it's McKenna Snow, sends it toward midfield. And now Portsmouth will just volley it into the Bedford end. And you got to get out in her face there. Yep, sure enough. Nice play made. Lila Yater sends it out of bounds on the far side. The throw is coming.
Yeah, and I think that's the type of play Lila Yater really hustling back, getting her foot on the ball, stopping anything that Portsmouth has going. That's what you need from Bedford for the rest of the game.
Two players, Addie Kiley and Anna Diaz, both went up for that header at the same time. That's one you got to make sure you talk on that. You don't want to lose both, and neither one of them had too good of a shot at that ball. And the ball is still in the Portsmouth offensive end. Great throw into the box. Kiley heads it, and now sent off of the Portsmouth offensive player Barry James, and the throw for the Bulldogs is coming. A shortage of balls.
Yeah,
we've seen that on several occasions. The other night we had a couple ball girls taking that over, but right now, that costs roughly 30 seconds of clock time. So I guess not maybe the worst thing if you're the Bulldogs, but you still want to try to find a way to win this game. Ball sent toward midfield by McKenna Snow. Got to get out on her, can't give her too many options there. Ball back far side, left foot. Honda comes up with it. Now the ball sent through, and Addie Kiley breaks it up, sends it out, but Portsmouth still with a chance now. A great play made by Lila Yater to come up with that ball, and the Bulldogs on the offensive charge. Lila makes a move, Portsmouth sends it out of bounds, and the Bulldogs have a throw coming with about a minute and a half left. So one really last charge that they can make, and a throw that I don't think was quite what anybody would have expected there. It sort of slipped a bit, and now the Bulldogs try to get it going on offense. Addie Kiley going for the ball and gets whistled just left of midfield. So now Portsmouth's going to get a chance with about 1:10 left.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think the referee was right there to see the bump. Probably not as much harm as thought, but the ref was right there. Probably had to call that one.
the contact on a defenseless player, as it were, and now the ball sent over to the far side. By our count, we're under a minute left in the game. Okay, we're not. So with that, the Bulldogs got themselves a goal in the 51st minute. Juliet Laws becoming the 14th Bulldog to score a goal this season. Put the Bulldogs up 1-0. They held that lead for 19 minutes before a little bit of a defensive breakdown resulted in a goal from Rose Merrill, her 7th of the season, and that evened things up at 1 apiece. And the Bulldogs and the Clippers come out of here with a tie. The Bulldogs 10-1-3 and the Clippers 10-2-3. So the difficult thing for the Bulldogs, and we've talked about this with some of the ties this year, they're ties that feel like a win. The Winnicott game, I don't know what that one felt like. The Pinkerton game certainly felt like a win. This one kind of feels like a little bit more of a loss.
Yeah.
You had the win in your grasp, and it was one kind of brief lapse on defense, and all of a sudden it's tied 1-1, and Portsmouth walks out of here feeling like they just won a game.
Absolutely. They kind of stole one at the end. I mean, they earned it for sure and had Bedford on their back foot, but if you're the coaching staff in Bedford, I think you have to look at this and say, hey, after we scored that goal, going up to scoring that goal and after, we played free and loose, and we got to go just focus on that portion of the game and duplicate it. So a lot of good things to take away. Unfortunate that they get the draw here, but hard-fought game by both sides and positives to take away for both.
So we will see how that impacts the playoff seeding. That, of course, you want to be in a position where you can host a game, and Bedford still finds themselves ahead of Portsmouth. The Clippers have one more game remaining this season, the Bulldogs with 2 games next week. So we will see what next week holds. We'd like to take a moment and thank Bill Jennings for running the camera here. Andrew Fenn back in the BC TV studios. I'm sure Colleen Richardson was involved somehow in this, so we'll give a shout out to Colleen always. And for my broadcast partner, Jay Avendroth, I'm Lauren Fox. Once again, your final score, the Bedford Bulldogs and the Portsmouth Clippers draw 1-1. You have been watching Bedford Bulldogs soccer on BC TV.